singular points or poles. So what are poles, or where exactly we use the poles? So let's have discussion on poles, dear students. Poles or the singular points, both the things are same only. Singular points, or you can say it's poles, right? So those points at which your function is not, those points are called singular points or poles where your function is not analytic, right? So we can say points at where, given function, given complex function is not analytic, right? When your given complex function is not analytic at somewhere, you can say that particular point is called pole, my dear students. Let's see how. Here I have fz, right? If someone told me to find the singular points or pole here, then what I will do, I have to make, whenever you have to find out the singular points or pole, you have to make the denominator equals to 0. You will always put the denominator is equals to 0. Why I am putting denominator equals to 0? Because when we put denominator is equals to 0, dear students, it always gives you when your denominator is equals to 0, the function will be 1 by 0, hence the function is not exist. When your function is not exist, then it's not possible that your function can be analytic, right? So when your function is not analytic, hence you can conclude, okay, those are the points where my function is not analytic. So for finding function, or for finding those points where given function is not analytic, is the only method to put that given function's denominator is equals to 0. Is it clear, guys? So singular points or poles are those points where your function must be not analytic, right? So it means where if I have fz is equals to z by 2 z square, it is z square minus 5z plus 6, right? So I will put the denominator is equals to 0. Here z square minus 5z plus 6 is equals to 0. When we put equals to 0, here we will get z square minus 3z minus 2z plus 6 is equals to 0. We will get z minus 3 and z minus 2 is equals to 0, right? So we can say the poles are z is equals to 2 and 3. Hence we can conclude the poles are z is equals to 2 and 3. Hence these 2 and 3 are those points where your given function is not at all analytic. If you substitute here z is equals to 2 and z is equals to 3, the denominator will become 0. Hence 1 by 0 will not be an analytical function. Is it clear, guys? Right? So I think you are getting my point. How we can approach the singular points are those at which the given function fz is not analytic, right? Okay, let me write down one more point related to the singular point. We can conclude here one more thing. If a function f fails to be analytic, okay, means the second define of singular point, we can say if a function f fails to be analytic, if a function f fails to be analytic at a point z0, but is analytic at some point, right? But it's analytic at some point in every neighborhood of in every neighborhood of I'm just writing and define in every neighborhood of z0, it's an mathematical define of singular points. Neighborhood of z0, then z0 is called the singular point. Z0 is called a singular point for the given function f. singular point or singularity of the given function f. Clear guys, right? Okay, so I think it's very simple to approach how we can go for this one. The point z is equal to 0 is a singular point. For suppose I have a function, let me write down an example. The point z is equal to 0 is a singular point for the function fz is equals to 1 by z. Here you can easily approach. We are doing the same thing. We are putting the denominator is equals to 0. When we put the denominator of fz is equals to 1 by z, it means z is equals to 0. That z is equals to 0 is called the singular point of the given function, right? And if you want to write down one more example, let me write down one more example. So for one more example, the function fz is equals to mod z. Now here you will get one important thing. The function fz is equals to mod of z whole square. When we have the function fz is equals to mod of z square, it has no singular points. Why? It has no singular point because its denominator is not exist. It will be analytic at everywhere. So it has no singular points. It has no singular points, hence it is analytic at everywhere. Since it is okay, it has no singular points, right? Clear? So we are not able to find the singular points. Done? So these are the thing. The important part is that only whenever you have to find out the singular point, you have to put a denominator is equals to 0. This is the only and only important part which exactly we need when we approach to the questions, right? This is the very important part which we need. Okay, so although the mathematical define is not so important, it's exactly not at all needed. But I just told you, okay, in the GATE examination there will be not at all a define has been asked, right? So but still if you want to approach, you can go for this one. But the important part is this one only, that those points are called singular points. Where a function is not analytic, it means the denominator is equals to 0. When the denominator is equals to 0, that is called the singular point. Then okay guys, now so this is the important thing which you should know before entering into the Cauchy's integral theorem. Now I will tell you about the Cauchy's integral theorem. Okay, so okay, just have discussion on first example. As we have, the question is talking about the singularities, means the singular points. The analytical function fz has singularities at what? So we know very well, whenever question has been talking about singularities or singular point or poles, the things are same. Singularities, singular points or pole. Singular points or pole, right? So you have to put denominator is equals to 0, hence z square plus 1 is equals to 0. Hence we conclude z square is equals to minus 1. So we can write down z is equals to plus minus iota only. So whenever we have, this is in the option number D. So the singular points for this one will be z is equals to plus minus iota and minus iota. Then guys, so we can easily approach this one. This is the way to find pole, and finding pole is very, very important when we want to go with the Cauchy's integral formula, Cauchy's integral theorem. Means ultimately when we talk about the complex integration, whenever we want to find the integration of any complex function, so we should know about the pole and singular points. Okay guys.